Do you want to know how we made $133,000 on accident selling our first house? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you everything we did to maximize our investment. Hey everybody, David Calhoun. I am a realtor here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today I'm sharing with you how we made $133,000 in just 3 years by selling our first house and really not knowing what we were doing. So a little bit of history, background story. So we bought our first house in Minneapolis here in 2015. It was our first house and we had been renting in the area. And I was running, I'm a long distance runner, and I was running through this neighborhood that was close to our apartment. And it was this pocket of North Minneapolis that I had never heard of before. And the neighborhood is Victory, Minneapolis. And it's right along the Victory Memorial Parkway was this house. And it was a 1930s Tudor. We got it for $206,000. The thing with this house is that it was a short sale. So we found our house kind of on accident. I was running in this neighborhood. Loved the neighborhood. It's right along a bike path that goes all the way from North Minneapolis down to South Minneapolis, part of the Grand Rounds here in the Twin Cities, and lots of trees, just beautifully well manicured parkway. And so that's what really drew us to the neighborhood, being a long distance runner. But the house, we got it for $206,600, and it was a short sale, which means the seller owed more than what the house was actually selling for, and the bank was going to forgive that difference. So it was a short sale. The house was on the market for I think 4 months when we bought it. So we paid $206,600. I think it was listed at $212,000 when we put in an offer. It was in rough shape. It was not pretty. It wasn't horrible, but it didn't show very well. I think a lot of it was just, the seller had a lot of colors in there that just didn't really complement the house. So he had like dark greens and purples and browns and just mismatched furniture and tons of furniture, and it was kind of dirty and it kind of stunk, and it just was not a cohesive feel when you walked into the house. However, we could see past that. We knew the location was right, the price was right, the floor plan was right, all the structure in the house, all the charm. We loved the hardwood floors. We loved it being on the parkway. We loved it had the crown molding. It had the picture rail, the plaster walls, the Tudor arches. It had a brick fireplace, gas fireplace downstairs. It had a tremendous master bedroom upstairs with a walk-in closet and then a huge bathroom. So we loved that. We could see past all of the cosmetic things. The kitchen in the house had ice dam issues. So the paint in the ceiling was peeling and it was really, really rough looking, but somehow we just were like, this is our house. We loved it. First thing we did was buy paint. So we spent about $800 in paint. We painted everything from the fireplace. So it had red brick when we bought it, and we did a whitewash on it. We painted all the trim white because half the house had white trim. The other half had the original trim, wood trim, and so we wanted it again cohesive, so we painted all the trim white, which turned out really nice. We painted all the ceilings, so I think the living room ceiling was brown when we moved in, so it needed to be brightened up. So we painted that white. We painted all the crown molding in the ceiling. We painted the picture rail. It just needed to be freshened up, so we spent a lot of money on paint. We painted the kitchen cabinets. So the house actually the kitchen was remodeled in about 2002, I believe. And so the cabinets were nice cabinets, but I think they were maple maybe? I can't remember exactly what they were, but we painted them white and they looked fantastic. And so we did that. We added new hardware. And then the house had a burgundy Corian countertop when we moved in. Okay, so it's a solid surface counter, but it was literally burgundy. And so we spent $3,335 on white quartz. And that, again, with the white cabinets, made the kitchen look amazing. Also, the house had a copper taped on backsplash. Yes, it was copper and it was taped on, literally, like, I think it was duct tape, just circled and then slapped onto the backsplash. Remove that, and I spent $371 on tile from the tile shop. And then my buddy, he knows how to do backsplashes, so he went me a wet saw and literally helped me install a hex tile backsplash, which turned out amazing. So that was white. We had the white quartz, white cabinets. The house actually still had stainless steel appliances, so we didn't spend any money on appliances. They were older, but they were still working. They looked good, so we didn't do anything. The house in the kitchen had the ceramic floors, ceramic tile floors from the remodel in the kitchen in 2002, so those were in good shape. We left that. So we were able to transform the whole look of the kitchen for probably $4,000. And a lot of that was the quartz countertops. So we did a white, I think it was a silestone quartz counter that was like $3,300, but well worth it. Then we did an undermount sink, and it looked amazing. There were already puck lights underneath the cabinets, and so we just didn't need to do new lighting. The one thing we did on the ceiling was we scraped the paint off of the ceiling, and then we put in a new light fixture because they had a like Tiffany style ceiling fan in the kitchen. So we just went to IKEA. I think we spent $150 total on new light fixtures throughout the house, but the kitchen was the biggest transformation, so we spent a little bit of money on that. The bathroom was the original pink bathroom, pink tile, salmon pink. It was kind of like a salmon faded pink. It had an updated pedestal sink and it had a new toilet, but the tub was original. So I spent, I think, $40. I bought 2 kits of the Rust-Oleum paint, and I painted the pink tile white, and I painted the tub white. So complete transformation. I left the original floor in there because that was in really good shape, but I painted the pink tile white, and then there was a black border tile above that I left black, so it turned out really well. And so I think I spent $40 on the bathroom, and I'll show you pictures here. As you can see, it looked amazing. So that was super cool. What else did we do? We did new carpet in the basement. Okay, so the basement was kind of finished, but there was no carpet. Apparently the seller had carpet down there at one point, but he ripped it out. So when we bought it, it had just the asbestos tile on there, and it did not look good. It was not very cozy. So we spent a little over $1,200 recarpeting the living room, or the family room down there. There was a den down there that we recarpeted, and then the stairs. So we had all new carpet, and then the basement also had wood paneling, which was awesome. But we painted all of that actually a couple different times because we didn't get the color right. So we did end up painting that, and I think it was white. Maybe it was white when we moved out, but it completely transformed the entire basement for about $1,400. Okay, so carpet and paint down there. And then the porch needed some love. We scraped and patched and painted the back porch because it was almost collapsing. It needed a new back door. So I put on a new back door and then painted it. What else did we do? We did spend about $800 on gutters before we sold the house. The garage needed new gutters, and I think I spent about $800 for that. So a couple things we did just to highlight. We did a lot of paint. We literally painted every single surface in the house. We did new countertops, we did a backsplash, we did new light fixtures, and we did carpet in the basement. Okay, so we bought it at $206,600 in March of 2015, and we sold it for $370,000 in March of 2018, and that profit was about $133,000 after all commissions paid and everything like that. We walked away with a check for $133,000. So it changed our life. We were able to do a lot of other things that we never thought we could do, and I was able to start my real estate company with that. So there it is. We made $133,000 totally on accident. We had no intention of buying this house and then selling it 3 years later. I would do it all over again. I know we made the right decision, and it just worked out. If you have questions about what buyers are looking for in houses nowadays, feel free to reach out. I have all my information in the description box here below. That's how we did it. It was on accident. We were super blessed, super lucky, and the market worked in our favor. It was not the intention, but it happened, and we are so grateful for that. So if there's anything you need real estate related, feel free to reach out. Like I said, all my information is in the description box below, and I will respond if you have any questions. So thank you for watching, you guys. I will catch you on the next video.